Now let's take a look at using plugins within Ableton Live's version 7. Now this is quite an easy thing to do. It's going to work just like we've seen with other devices. To get to the plugins, we're going to click on the plugin browser here, and if it's your first time here, you're going to see this window that says, do you want to activate this? And the answer is yes. Now this brings open the preferences, and the section we want to look at is right here within this plugin sources. The first thing we have to do is to enable the different types. We can use an audio units type of an effect if you're on a Mac, and you'll also see the VST plugins if you're on a Windows. So we have both on a Mac and VST on Windows. Now one thing to keep in mind is that sometimes VST installs their components in a basic VST folder that the whole system can use, and others use their own custom folder. So it's located in an unpredictable place. So if you're going to enable the VST plugins in their own custom folder, you're going to have to turn this on, and then you're going to be asked to browse and show Ableton Live basically where that folder is. Now for this demonstration, I'm going to be using some of my audio unit devices. I'm not going to be using any VST. Another note I want to point out is if you already have enabled these audio unit plugins and you add some more, you'll need to come back here and do rescan, and Ableton Live will search for additional plugins, and then you'll have access to those also. Okay, so I'm going to close down my preferences now, and it's hard for me to make a project file for this because you can't follow along if you don't have the exact same plugins I do. Now I'm going to start with using a synthesizer type device. So I've got an empty MIDI track here. I'm going to open up my AU folder called Native Instruments and pull over a core and drop it on that track. Now as soon as I do that, it opens up and we can see its own editor. We can choose a sound. I'm going to say let's find for a synth pad, an evolving sound, and let's check one out. Okay, so I can edit it or not. I'm going to close this down, and now we see it's here on the track, and we have it record arm so we can actually play. Now it's very easy to add in additional effects if we want, even though that's a non-built-in device. We can pull in an audio effect that is. So let's pull in something like a flanger so we can hear it. Pull across the flange, drop it in, hot swap for a preset. Let's try the swirling one. I can bypass that. So we see we can freely use them in combination. Now one of the questions that might come up is, why do you want to use additional plugins? Well, the main reason is that if you pull in sources from different designers, you're just opening up your palette, so to speak. So you can find the type of synth you like and pull it in, or a complete suite if you wish. Another thing we're going to do now is pull in an audio effect from a device that is a plugin. So I'm going to my plugin folder, I'm opening up Apple, and let's pull in basically a graphic EQ. Let's say I wanted to EQ this whole sound. And it comes in as a 31 band. I can edit it. I'm going to go to a 10 band and change my sound. Let's see if we can make it kind of a tubular sound. And playing again. I'm going to create a curve in here. A little bit stronger there. Okay, now we can close down this editor again, but what if you want to open it back up? Well, either for the synth that I'm using, the core, or the audio effect, we have a little mini icon here of a wrench, like a crescent wrench or an open-ended wrench. If you click on that, you're going to reopen the editor and allow you to tweak the parameters or change the sound completely. Now when it comes to editing each of these devices, Ableton Live's manual is not going to be any help because this interface is designed by the company. So you want to turn to your company's info to get this to work. And the same thing goes back for our AU graphic EQ. I can open it back up and then get to it here. Now another thing that's nice is even within Ableton Live, they have this great tool for using a ball for editing many things. And it allows you to control one parameter by moving sideways and another parameter by moving up and down or any combination thereof. So I could take this and say, let's morph X1 when I move one direction, and let's morph X2. Now in many devices you'll see words like cutoff, filter, etc. Now you can see that this quickly would be sending out controller data directly to that. We can check our AU graphic and we can see basically we can control one of the frequencies by doing this. Let's go to the 40 Hertz and then to the 160. And let's play again. So we have direct access for controlling and even automating some of these controls from within Ableton Live. So you can see the plugins are quite a great asset and integrate well into Ableton Live 7.